This year's battle for the Silver Boot stands even at 1 game apiece. Friday's Rangers win was equalized by the Astros last night with a season-high 3 home runs. Today, the series rubber match features Jordan Lyles making his first home start of 2012. The Lone Star Series continues next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, it's Interleague Baseball. This Sunday matchup is presented by Hyundai as the American League champion Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros of the National League. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. A stirring win for the Astros last night, even the series, and now they're ready to go for this leg of the battle for the Silver Boot. JD?
Astros looking to win a series against the Rangers for the first time since 2008. Come from behind fashion last night, hitting 3 home runs in a ball game for the first time this year. You know, if you would think anybody was going to come from behind in this series like that, it would be the Rangers with all their firepower, but it was the Astros who got it done with the long ball yesterday, hitting just $180 in this series, but 5 of the 11 hits have been for extra bases. So some interesting notes. Jed Lowry, the only Astro with more than 1 hit so far in the series, and of course the ability to neutralize Josh Hamilton, very important so far. They've been able to do that. The big guy just 1 out of 8 so far.
So as the rubber game of the series comes your way, it's Jordan Lyles pitching at home for the first time for the Astros. And the Rangers are ready to tee it up in just a moment.
Brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Fans coming into the ballpark, both with Texas and Houston insignia, as we go for the 3rd game and final game of this 3-game set. Last time the Rangers and Astros will meet in interleague play here in Houston. They've got one more series in Arlington in a few weeks, and then of course starting next year they'll be in the same division battling for the same prize. The series is even at a game apiece. The Astros actually have been the hotter team over the last 20 games, believe it or not. The Rangers were so red hot, winning 17 of their first 20, but since then the Astros actually have a little better record than the Rangers, and this series is all even. The Astros are on the field, the warm-up pitchers are being taken, and Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies are in the booth to call the action.
Thank you, Greg. A spirited game last night went to the Astros. After they fell behind 4-0, they roared back to win it 6-5 and ended that game on an unusual double play. Brett Myers diving to tag Elvis Andrus as he was diving to get to second base. So that was a thriller, and fans of both these teams have really been into it. It's been a really good weekend for this Interleague Series, and we look forward already to next year being a part of the American League West and playing the Rangers more often. Hyundai shows you Ron Washington's starting lineup. It's Ian Kinsler at second base, Elvis Andrus shortstop, Josh Hamilton center field, Adrian Beltre third base, Michael Young first base, David Murphy left field, Nelson Cruz right field, Gorfit Torrealba catcher, Colby Lewis pitcher.
Jordan Lyles making his 3rd start in an Astro uniform this year. Last time out rather, against Philadelphia. Solid 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned walk, and 4 strikeouts. So 2 times he's gotten to the post this year, and he's pitched well both times, first in Cincinnati and then last time in Philadelphia. Defensively, a little different look in the outfield as Travis Buck gets a start. Jordan Schaefer's got an ankle issue. Justin Maxwell starts in center. Bogus Evanson right. Infield 3rd to 1st. Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, Lee, and Jason Castro is behind the plate for Lyles.
Here's that final double play to end the game last night as Brett Myers was in to close it out. It's a ground ball to Carlos Lee. Step in the bag to take off the force. Then a rundown on Elvis Andrus. Jed Lowry throws it to Myers, and Myers, instead of throwing it, dives and tags him just barely before Andrus got the second.
Probably not the best executed rundown in the history of the sport, but it got the job done. And Andrus, the guy, he's a little evasive.
That was a thriller at the end. Now this one starts with Jordan Lyles on the mound. First home start for Jordan. Ian Kinsler at 278 with 5 homers, 18 runs batted in. Good on base average of 353. He leads the American League in runs scored with 34. Kinsler had 3 hits Friday night, but it turned on him last night as he went 0 for 5 with 4 punch-outs. Chris Johnson moving in at third.
I've heard it said that this is a humbling game, and Ian Kinsler this weekend a great example of it. Strike one there from Lyles, something he's done effectively so far in his 2 starts.
Sure has. He's getting a few extra miles per hour. That one at 91. No balls, 2 strikes. He's been a mile or 2 per hour faster than that on his fastballs consistently since joining the Astros. And that one's hammered up the middle. That one sat in the middle of the strike zone for Kinsler, and he hit the 0-2 pitch for a single.
And nothing wrong with an 0-2 breaking ball, but there is usually an issue with an 0-2 breaking ball that stays in the zone. You're trying to get a swing and a miss, a chase there. You want that ball down below the knees. And Jordan just not able to execute the pitch there. Left it up just a little bit.
Kinsler has 5 steals in 9 attempts. He's aboard for Elvis Andrus. Andrus is 3 for 8 this series. 323 batting average. And that's 6th in the American League. 1 homer, 19 runs batted in. A high on base average of 400 for Elvis. He had a career 271 average coming into this season. Just 23 years old. Andrus is 5th in the American League in hits with 51. Chris Johnson's a step in front of the bag at third. And the throw goes over to first on Kinsler.
Kinsler with 5 steals this year, but he's been caught 4 times.
The Rangers do a fair amount of running. They're 3rd in steals in the American League with 30, and they're 3 for 3 in steals in this series. Dave Anderson, the third base coach. The Rangers have a 5-game lead in their American League West division with a 25-16 record. They'll be going to Seattle next. That's ball 1 to Andrus. For Lyles, his first start with the Astros came in Cincinnati on April 29th. He worked 6 innings, allowed 3 runs, a no decision last time out. 6 innings, 3 runs, 1 earned, a no decision in Philadelphia.
Right now showing signs of maybe being a little distracted with Kinsler's presence over there at first base, trying to hasten his delivery and missing the strike zone. As I mentioned, Kinsler is certainly capable of stealing a base, but he's no Ricky Henderson. It's too early in the game to get so preoccupied with defending the steal that you make bad pitches. So you set up the potential big inning. You got Josh Hamilton on deck. If you walk Andrus here, you're putting yourself in an early bind.
Lyles made 2 starts last year against the Rangers. 0-1 with a 5.54 ERA in those 2. There's a strike and it's 3-1. Brian Runge calling the balls and strikes today. The high-powered Rangers lead the majors in runs scored with 229. And they lead the American League in many offensive departments as a team. That's in for strike 2. It's a full count now. Tough bunch to hold down to less than 4 runs per game. Rangers lost with 5 last night. They won with 4 Friday night, 4-1. They're going, and it's a foul ball first base side.
On Washington turning Kinsler loose there on the 3-2 pitch with Andrus at the plate. Andrus a good contact guy. He's only struck out 22 times this year. Wash keeping the clock over there in the dugout. Jordan Lyles times to home plate. Job's usually reserved for the first base coach.
Yeah,
they're probably both doing it.
They're going again. That bouncer goes right behind him into right field for an Andrus single. And it's first and third, nobody out, with Kinsler advancing. For Josh Hamilton.
You see the break by Kinsler, and you see Altuve sliding over to cover the bag. And that creates a wide open hole on the right side, and that's the danger. You know, you make that decision who covers the bag based on hitter tendencies, the pitch, things of that nature, but sometimes clubs, even with that, will leave that second baseman at home because a base hit through the hole on the shortstop side is first and second. A base hit through the right side, it's almost always first and third.
Hamilton has one hit in the series, one RBI, 384, and there's where his hits have gone. Hamilton hits one in the air to center. Maxwell went back. Now he's coming in. There's going to be the tag at both bases, and the throw goes into second. It's 1-0 Rangers on a sac fly by Hamilton, and that's 47 runs batted in for Josh Hamilton, who leads the league in many departments.
Frankly, that's a trade the Astros will gladly take at this stage of the ball game. Keep Hamilton in the yard, get an out, avoid that big crooked number to this point anyway. Hamilton, although he's not doing a whole lot in this series, has managed to drive in a couple of runs. 3 runs, actually.
Adrian Beltre's next. Beltre, with a .317 average, has driven in 26 himself. Hamilton has not left many for him. They strike one to Beltre. He has 8 home runs, and he's 9th in slugging in the American League with .554 slugging percentage. Michael Young's on deck. Curveball makes it a 1-ball, 1-strike count. That's a much improved pitch, the curveball for Jordan Lyles. He worked on it very hard in spring training.
And I think more than anything, it's a willingness to throw it more often.
Lyles faced the Rangers 1 week apart last year, and he pitched better in Texas than he did here. At Arlington, he gave up 3 runs in 7 innings and a no decision. And here, he lost it 7-3 and gave up 5 runs on 10 hits in 6 innings. The appeal goes to first. No, it's a strike anyway. He didn't appeal it. Home plate umpire called it. Brian Runge. It's 1-2.
So, Jordan, it's fastball, curveball, cut fastball, and changeup are his pitches. His fastball command has been very good. As Brownie mentioned earlier, his velocity up a little bit. Last year, he averaged at 89 miles an hour with his fastball. This year, sits right around 91. We've seen him reach 93 with the heater.
Rock to left center field. Maxwell watches the flight of this one. He's at the warning track, and right there at the bullpen wall, he snags it. A long out, number 2. Looked like that ball might be at least off that bullpen fence, but it came down for Maxwell as the second out.
Good thing the air conditioning's not blowing out today. You just missed lifting one out of here. Maxwell taking over in center field for the injured Schaefer. To the wall, puts it away. Crisis averted.
Damage control in effect. And it's Michael Young batting. Oh, Beltre, who's got great swings this year, retired. 276 for Young, 3 homers, 21 driven in with a low 304 on base average for him. He has a 304 career batting average coming into this year. The throw goes over.
It certainly makes sense to keep an eye on Andrus. He's 8 out of 9 in stolen bases, and with 2 outs in the inning, he'll be looking for an opportunity to get into scoring position for Michael Young.
Young's 3 for 7 with an RBI in this series. Taking strike 1. He's the all-time leader for the Rangers in 8 different offensive categories, and in interleague play has 260 hits. Number 6 on the all-time list.
That's because Ted Williams didn't get to play in the league.
Right. Stan Musial. You can imagine where those guys would have been. Michael's a 7-time All-Star, though. Time called.
When did this all start, this interleague?
97. Ron Washington really trying to get Michael going, and that's why he started all 3 games of this series after leading the league with 213 hits last year, hitting 338. And he's shown signs of that. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's certainly an important man in the scheme of things, but normally you'd see lefty hitting Mitch Moreland playing first against a right-handed pitcher. And Michael gets the call again today. And the thing that helps get him at bats is he can play anywhere on the infield. Pitch out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jordan Lyles has both of his career major league wins here at Minute Maid Park. He's 2-8 lifetime. Here at home 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. He gets a swing from Young, and it's 2-2 as Michael walks away.
And you mentioned 213 hits for Young last year. That was the 6th time in his career he's had 200 hits or more in a season. And that's a threshold not many guys get to.
Right about that. He's just been so consistent at banging out line drives. And there's another into right center field. Maxwell legging it over. It's going to be first and third, or maybe second. Now he makes it into second. The ball cut off. So Young hustles it into a double. He just kept on going because he had the wide open spaces out there. It was a long run for Maxwell. And that's the 9th double for Michael Young.
This line drive carries into the alley in right center, threatens to split the gap and go all the way to the wall, but it's cut off out there. And priority number 1 is just to make good throws back in. Don't mishandle it and allow Andrus a chance to come all the way around and score. And right on cue, no sooner does Brownie say he's made a living out of spraying line drives, and he obliges.
Machine, isn't he? Not so much this year, but there have been signs that he's returning to top form this weekend. 9 doubles for Young. And now Houston native David Murphy. We got a note that he went to Brill Elementary School. Brill Elementary sang the anthem today. He said, no, I didn't go to that school. My brother did. 272. And he takes ball 1. But he did have a thrill upon returning back home last night with the inside the park homer. A 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. 23rd in the history of the Rangers.
He found his thrill, but didn't go to Brill.
He almost reached Taos Hill.
Here you go.
2 balls and no strikes. Who was it? Fats Domino on Blueberry Hill, right?
Yep.
It's going way back. Murphy takes.
People at home are going, those idiots have that song stuck in my head. It's going to be there all day.
Yeah,
now.
it won't come out. Be there for a couple weeks at least. Now here's the intentional walk being issued to bring up Nelson Cruz. Here was, and it unfortunately cost Jordan Schaefer a few games of service on this inside the park home.
And Jordan landing awkwardly there after vaulting over Maxwell, and Murphy able to come all the way around the bases.
Bases loaded now, and it's Nelson Cruz batting. He homered last year off Lyles. Taking this pitch for strike 1, an off-speed pitch that floats up there. Cruz with 21 runs batted in has 4 homers, and he's hit 264. He left the game with a minor leg problem last night in the 8th inning. Chasing that one 0-2.
Great cutter there. Cruz a very aggressive swinger, took strike 1 and chasing that cutter. Now you got a couple of shots here. Try to get him to chase your pitch. You don't want to go 3-2, obviously. You want to make your pitch in the next couple, but obviously don't want to give in here.
Curveball's tapped out.
Okay, he's left a couple of those breaking balls up in the zone already in this inning. If I were Jason Castro, I'd be hesitant to throw that one, or excuse me, come right back to it now. And that was the old Brad Ausmus philosophy. Whenever a pitcher didn't finish a pitch, call it again and just make sure, give him some feedback, get this thing down in the dirt. You don't want to leave a breaking ball in the zone here, I don't think.
That's line into left field. That'll score Andrus and Young. 3-0 Rangers on a 2-run single by Cruz on the 0-2 pitch. So the second hit for the Rangers on 0-2 counts in the inning, and Cruz has driven in 23.
Yeah, just the inability to locate, the two strikes. This time it looked like a cutter, and it stayed up in the strike zone. And there are certain guys that I think it makes sense to attack 0-2. Just great disciplined hitters that aren't going to chase, and you end up, if you nibble, you end up being in a full count situation anyway. So you might as well attack them while they're vulnerable. But Cruz isn't one of them. He's an aggressive swinger. You're ahead of him 0-2. Bounce a breaking ball. Go way upstairs with a fastball. See if you can get him to chase.
Yorvit Torrealba is the batter with runners at first and second. Rangers striking for 3 runs on 4 hits so far. Strike 1 to Torrealba.
So a couple first pitch breaking balls that would have been better pitches to make in those 0-2 situations. Again, I'm not really second guessing the decision making. I think he just hasn't been able to execute the pitches.
Up and into Torrealba, 33-year-old veteran. Last year did well for Texas, hit .273, made 95 starts. Off to a bit of a slow start with the bat so far this year compared to his overall career numbers. He's caught Colby Lewis most of the time this year. That one goes foul. It's 1-2 as the Rangers have their 8th batter of the inning at the plate and Lewis on deck.
Just not a whole lot of let up in this lineup. I mean, Nelson Cruz is your 7-hole hitter. That's a lot of firepower.
Yes, it is. There's a little chop going slowly foul. Still a 1-ball 2-strike count. As Greg mentioned, the Astros and Rangers have a return matchup in a few weeks in Arlington, where of course the DH will be used. And this weekend has been a different one for the Rangers without the DH, the pitcher batting, and that extra position player just being used off the bench. Ron Washington said he's liked it. Keeps everybody in the game ready to go in as a bench player. It's a foul ball.
Got his arm.
Sure did. So hit by the pitch, Torrealba will go to first, and the bases are loaded now. Oh, that's forearm.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, boy, gets you good when it comes off the arm like it's coming off of the bat.
Sounded like it got bat. The base is loaded again, and it's Colby Lewis up for the first time this season. Well, Lewis, after 188 career average with 2 runs batted in, experiencing the other side of what he found in Baltimore a couple starts ago when he gave up home runs to the first 3 batters. Now he's got a nice lead. And there's strike 1.
One of the best feelings in the world for a pitcher is the first inning at bat.
Colby won 14 for the Rangers a year ago. He's 31 years old from Bakersfield, California. He shoots one out into right center field, and that's in for a hit. It'll score a couple, and it's a big 5 spot for the Rangers as Lewis drives in 2.
They were shallow to begin with, but he was able to find some empty real estate between the infield and the outfield there. A little soft line drive base hit.
Two-run single for Lewis.
That's even better than getting that at bat. You're just happy to get to the plate in the first inning. Then you drive in a couple. And now he has a 5-run lead, at least, when he takes the mound in the bottom of the first.
Ball 1 to Kinsler. Kinsler led off the game with a single.
Mulligan? Can we get a mulligan here, please?
Mulligan would be good, wouldn't it? Well, Lyles had avoided this type of big inning in his first 2 starts this season. Throws a strike. That evens a count of 1-1. Lucas Harrell went 5 2/3 as the Astros starter last night. 5 relievers followed him to the mound in the Astros 6-5 win. Lucas got win number 3 of the year. Here's Johnson. Takes care of the 3rd out. It takes a long time for the Astros to get that 3rd out. The Rangers put up a 5 spot in the 1st inning. On 5 hits, they lead at 5-0. Lineup card brought to you by Hyundai. Jose Altuve second base, Jed Lowry shortstop, Brian Bogusevic right field, Carlos Lee first base, Travis Buck left field, Chris Johnson third base, Justin Maxwell center field, Jason Castro catcher, Jordan Lyles pitcher.
Right-hander Colby Lewis for the Rangers this afternoon. He's 3-3 with a 3.63 ERA through 8 starts. It's been a tale of 2 months for him. 3-0 with a .193 in April, 0-3, 652 here in the month of May for the right-hander. Defensively, the Rangers set up this way. Outfield left to right of Murphy, Hamilton, Cruz. Around the infield, it's Beltre, Andrus, Kinsler, Young, Torrealba. The veteran backstop is behind the plate. Colby Lewis features fastball, slider, curveball, and change. Very good breaking stuff. Curveball, slider combination. Very good. He's not a hard thrower. He's a strike throwing machine. He's only walked 8 so far this year in 52 innings.
Last year he worked 200 innings, walking 56, fanning 169. He won 14 and lost 10 with a 4.40 ERA for 32 starts last year. And now he goes to the mound with a 5-0 lead facing Jose Altuve.
We'll give you something to swing at, though. You know, he's not overpowering with that fastball, and he doesn't have great movement, and he really attacks the strike zone. We'll start this year where he allowed 5 home runs and struck out 12. Very strange combination.
Yes, it is. First pitch, strike 1 to Altuve. 313 for Jose, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. He is 1 for 6 in this series. He's gone 5 for 14 on this homestand.
You know, a lot of times in a game like this, we fall down by a big number early. The thinking is, well, let's be patient, see if we can work some walks and get some base runners that way. But that's not likely to happen with Lewis. Might as well be ready to hit early and jump on that first pitch fastball if he's willing to challenge short over the heart of the plate.
Well, the numbers you saw a moment ago were from his most recent start against Kansas City Tuesday. He lost that one 7-4. He went 5 2/3 innings, allowing 8 hits, 7 runs. You saw just 2 earned runs. He made 2 throwing errors himself in that game. He is not a good fielding pitcher. He's had some hip problems, which limits his mobility.
2 starts prior to that one, he allowed 6 earned runs in each of those ball games. That's what adds up to that ugly May ERA for Lewis.
Altuve takes one outside. It's a 3-2 count. Brad Mills had talked with Altuve a couple days ago, and Jordan Schaefer maybe making a switch in the lineup. Now it's necessitated by the injury to Schaefer. Schaefer did lead off last night, though. That's ripped, and that'll be extra bases in the left field corner. Beltre couldn't get a glove on it. Altuve heads to second. And these teams are coming out firing in the first inning. Double number 8 of the season for Altuve.
Picked on what could have been ball 4 up in the strike zone a little bit, but why sell for 1 when you can have 2? Breaks that double down the third base line. Got to cash these in. When you're down big early, you cannot afford to let these opportunities slip by. Leadoff double, 2, 3, 4 men coming up. Got to get this one home.
Jed Lowry's the batter. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Altuve at second. Lowry following at 274 with 5 homers, 16 runs batted in for Jed. This is the 5th time Altuve's led off for the Astros. Lowry showing bunt, takes the ball. Lowry's 2 for 7 with an RBI in this series. He got that RBI in last night's game. Nope, it was Friday night on the infield hit. That's right.
Featuring the changes here. Left-handed hitters hitting 288 off Lewis. 9 of the 12 home runs he's allowed have come to left-handed batters. So 600 slugging average for left-handed hitters against Lewis.
9 homers, 125 at bats. Foul away. 2-1. Of course, the Rangers, with their 60 home runs compared to the Astros 29, have all this firepower, but the Astros trailing here 5-0 still must play for the big inning now. And there you see the breakdown. And you can't be moving a runner over with a sac bunt in the first inning trailing 5-0.
Shouldn't be doing it in the first inning, period, for the most part. Only in rare circumstances does that play make sense. And certainly not against this lineup.
So Brad Mills hopes he can have a club that puts the hits together the way the Rangers did in the first. Well, last night Mills' club certainly did that, trailing 4-0 coming up in the third inning, getting 3 home runs from Snyder, Lee, and Maxwell, and winning at 6-5. Lowry lines to right field, caught by Cruz. Cruz has an excellent arm. That's out number 1.
2 good swings, though. On Tuvi's double, Lowry hits a line drive on a high fastball.
Brian Bogusevic is next. Brian, a .229 hitter with 1 homer, has 10 runs batted in. Last night, his last time up, he lined at third base. That was in the 6th inning. He came off the bench and went 0 for 3 when Schaefer was hurt. And Jordan had to leave the game. Jordan probably will not start, Brad Mills says, until Wednesday as a lower leg muscle strain. Wanted foul, strike 1.
Bogey just trying to bunt for a hit here to create some traffic against this shift. He sees Beltre way off the line, so he's going to try to push one down that third base line. Not really going to change the thinking of the Rangers defensively.
No. But with Lewis limited in his mobility, it might be a way to get on base. That's what Bogey was trying to do. Pitch in tight, makes it 1-1. Rangers do a lot of things well, including pitch. Their ERA is the lowest in the American League, 3.24.
So it's lower leg strain for Jordan. I was thinking ankle.
Well,
the ankle.
Today they said it was a lower leg muscle strain, and we had been reading that he was going to have more examination Monday, possibly an MRI, but that's not going to be necessary, we're hearing today. Popped up. Beltre back toward the field. That's out number 2. Looked like he was going to the rail, and then he came back the other way. 2 down.
The ball must have come close to hitting one of those girders up there.
Now they're talking about it, Beltre and Andrus.
And Brad Mills now asking if maybe it did.
Well, if it did, it's a foul ball, and it's no longer in play. But we'll see. Brian Runge may confer with the other umpires. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, he's calling him in. He wants to know. Did you guys see that hit anything up there?
Well, if it did, then it's a foul ball and it's dead. So
McClellan turned and asked Beltre. That hit something?
But the way he reacted, Beltre, it looked like it might have hit something because he was going toward the rail and then he had to come back the other way.
Yeah, it's conceivable that the ball had a lot of spin on it and just working because it didn't change that much.
No.
It may have been just the spin working it back a little bit.
Well, they're not going to change the call. And it's Carlos Lee batting.
Big at bat here. I mean, it's only the first inning, but after falling down 5, getting that leadoff double. A little disheartening in that home dugout if they don't get this run home.
294 for Carlos, 4 homers, 20 runs batted in. He hit a homer last night, and he's 1 for 8 in this series with a couple of runs batted in last night.
Colby Lewis pitched one of the best games we've seen in this ballpark a couple of years ago. Complete game 2 hitter. He allowed 1 run, didn't walk anybody, struck out 9. Really dominant performance.
He won that game 5-1 over Brian Moeller. 1 ball, 1 strike. Faced the Astros twice last year with a win and a no decision, pitching well both times. That puts him at 2-1 with a 1.97 ERA for his career against the Astros. 37 interleague homers for Carlos with 145 batted in. And that fastball is low. 3-1 now to Carlos. Lee has hit .351 with men in scoring position. Travis Buck's on deck.
Get this one in the seats. Nope, didn't want to give in.
Breaking pitch, ball 4. First and second, 2 outs for Travis Buck.
Rather than challenge Carlos with the base open, he throws breaking ball, and he'll start fresh with Travis Buck.
Travis, a .259 hitter, has no homers. He's driven in 6. This is his 14th start of the year. Number 6 in left field, J.D. Martinez, resting today. Martinez played last night. He had a double in 3 trips and a walk. There's strike 1, but the numbers indicative of the fact that most managers would prefer to have a left-handed hitter up there against Lewis, with that .288 batting average against for left-handed hitters and the 9 homers. Buck takes a look at ball 1. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Lewis was drafted by the Rangers in '99. He moved around to several different clubs before returning to Texas in '09. 1-ball, 2 strikes. Colby went to Bakersfield College, spent 3 years with the Rangers, and then went to Detroit, Oakland, went to Japan for a couple of years. He came back in 2010 to join the Rangers again. He gets a strikeout, and that ends the Astros first with no runs, a hit, 2 men stranded, 5-0 Rangers after 1.
Just a good time. It's Miller time. Those folks are having a good time. 5-0 Rangers lead at top second. Let's go back to Brownie and JD.
Thank you, Greg. Tough first inning for Jordan Lyles. And he'll stay in now for the second, try to get things turned around with Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre coming up. Andrews singled to right field in the first inning when Kinsler was on his way towards second, and then wound up at third on the Andrews hit. There's strike 1 for Lyles. Well, after last night, the Astros have an 18-22 record in the first 40 games of the season. They're effectively at the quarter pole of the year.
Hey, did you see all have another yesterday? Win the Preakness by a nose,
yeah,
so neck, or whatever they win by. It was exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting. So now we've got 2 Triple Crown possibilities. I'll have another, and Josh Hamilton. That was good.
Could be a historic year. The last Triple Crown winner in baseball was Carl Yastrzemski back in 1967. When was the last Triple Crown winner in horse racing?
Boy, I don't know the answer to that, but the next question after we get that answer is, when was the last time there was a Triple Crown winner in both sports the same year? Strike 3 call. Andrews. Patty Smith might know. Patty?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know I am looking for a fan of the game, and there's lots of fans out here. So if there's anybody out there at home that has a potential fan for me that's out here at the ballpark, send me a tweet, Patty Smith FSH. Let me know where they're sitting, why they should be my fan, and I will go hunt them down.
Ooh. Josh Hamilton.
Hunt you down. Affirmed in 1978, the last Triple Crown winner. All those great battles with Alidar.
Yeah. It was a tremendous year for horse racing. Infield shifted around on Hamilton. He loops a line drive over that shifted infield, and it's a hit to right field. Nice easy swing, top spin line drive. It looks so simple.
Takes that smooth pass at the ball. Those guys with the easy swing on the golf course, and then they hit it 320 yards.
Yeah.
Leave you scratching your head.
Some of us are scratching our heads most of the time out there on the golf course. Adrian Beltre next. Hit a fly ball deep to left center field. That's 6 hits already for the Rangers. And Hamilton's name was in pencil on the lineup card in the Rangers clubhouse today in the number 3 spot, and David Murphy's name was in pencil in the number 6 spot. And that proved to be the actual starting lineup. That leads one to think there was some doubt about these guys. Probably more doubt about whether Hamilton wanted to play and then where Murphy would hit, which might have been different had Hamilton opted not to play. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, one thing the Rangers certainly are intent upon doing is keeping Hamilton healthy this year, and that has been a struggle the last several years. That's jerk foul. Big center field in this ballpark. A lot more running on certain games for a center fielder, and Hamilton, of course, sometimes plays left. But it's an air-conditioned day, and days like this are much easier on a player than playing in the heat in Arlington in the afternoon. Still relatively early.
Well, you try to rest guys and keep them fresh as best you can. It's almost impossible to protect against injury based on playing time.
Right.
I mean, you think of the way he got hurt last year, was on a headfirst dive at home plate. Unless you tell the guy to change the nature of the way he plays the game.
Yeah.
Good break the ball with 2 strikes. Nice adjustment made by Lyles.
Michael Young's next. Well, with the risk involved in playing center field compared to the other outfield positions, and the speed of Hamilton enabling him to get to more balls and get closer to walls than some other outfielders might, and then the fact that he's always on base and all the base running risk, that's hard to do. Keep a guy healthy sometimes for a grueling 6-month season.
Yeah, and I would, obviously all you can do is give him days off from time to time and tell him, hey, look, man, think big picture. You're about to fly into a wall.
Exactly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael Young's hit .342 against the Astros since the start of '09. High pitch count there for Lyles, 50 already.
We admire the hard-nosed player, the guy who's willing to put his body at risk to make a play, and you certainly admire it when you're on the mound and you see a guy laying out to make a play for you. But there are certain players that are so gifted, so important to your lineup, you might ask him to, hey, back off just a little bit.
Right. Fly ball goes near the right field line. A long run into foul territory. Carlos Lee turning and angling, and it popped out of his mitt.
Almost on the rebound.
Almost caught by Altuve.
Carlos checking with Jose there whether he had a beat on that ball. Would he been able to make a play? Certainly had a better angle had he been able to get there off the heel of Carlos's mitt, and then Altuve just a little bit short.
I think Altuve could have caught that ball, but Carlos was there. And sometimes a young player won't be quite as aggressive on a play like that and calling off a more veteran guy, but that would have been probably the better play. Young takes a look at strike 3. So no harm done there, and it's out number 2. Oh, wait a minute. It's only 2 strikes. He was walking away.
Brian Runge saying, and Michael, in this league, hey, he's out.
Yeah.
Here comes Mills.
It was strike 3. Right. Foul ball. Let's see now as Runge.
He's out.
Yeah, he is out.
The inning's over. Now come on out, fellas. Here we go. Sunday morning. Everybody shake the cobwebs out.
Those hitters know when it's 3 strikes, they're not going to give up on an at bat. It's no runs a hit and a man left. 5-0 Rangers. Michael Young had fouled off a couple pitches. That's called a strike. Michael says, okay, that's strike 3. End of inning. Walks away. What? Okay, nobody's arguing.
Well, yeah, when now Jordan's asking.
Yeah.
The way Runge rung him up, it was like strike 3. Then he started to second guess himself, I think.
Chris Johnson hammers one to right, backing up Cruz. Cruz on the warning track. One pitch, one out in the second for Colby Lewis.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Justin Maxwell ripped one a long way last night for home run number 2 of the season to left center field in the 5th inning. He was batting third last night. He had the 2-run homer and a pair of walks, stole a base, scored a couple runs. Maxwell getting the call again in center. Schaefer injured, and it's ball 1. Colby Lewis shooting for win number 4 of this season, making his 9th start already. Throws that one in for a strike. It's 1-1. How about this? Since 40 games into last season, compared to the roster now, the Astros have 15 new players. That's a strike.
Yeah, there's been a lot of turnover, a lot of youngsters.
Here's the lineup last year, 40 games into the season. As you see the strike there. Michael Bourne, center field. Clint Barmas, shortstop. Hunter Pence, right field. Carlos Lee, left. Brett Wallace, first base. Bill Hall, second base. Chris Johnson, third. Humberto Quintero, catch. That's a big turnover.
Yeah. The only guys at the same position is CJ. Carlos moving from left field into first base.
True. Brad Mills has seen a lot of new players come
well,
in.
you know, that old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Well, it was broke.
It was.
Clearly it was broke and needed to be fixed.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff Luno's doing a live chat online tomorrow. And there it is at Astros.com. 7:30 for the Astros general manager. And you know they'll be asking him about the upcoming draft on June 4th. The Astros with the first overall pick. Big decision coming up. Jordan Lyles was a supplemental pick when he was drafted. Lewis gets a strikeout. That's number 2 for him. We go to Greg Lucas.
Don't forget, we've got an opportunity for you to chat with Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies, at least with some questions. FoxSportsHouston.com is your link. And you link to the Fox Sports Game Connect icon there, and you can ask the broadcast team a question. And on Wednesdays, they'll answer some of them. Again, FoxSportsHouston.com, Fox Sports Game Connect right there. And then ask the broadcast team and get your questions in, because we have some good ones every week.
Yeah, we had some very good ones last week, Greg. And this Wednesday night will be right here, home against the Cubs. Jason Castro takes their strike 1. We didn't know if he was going to be playing today or not, because the lineup card in the Astros clubhouse had Chris Snyder catching and batting 8th. So somebody asked Brad Mills about that during his press conference with the writers, broadcasters today. He said, no, Castro's supposed to be playing. I need to go inside and correct that. Snyder played last night, hit a homer.
Well, maybe Snyder wrote it in there after going deep last night.
Maybe so. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jordan Lyles on deck. Yeah, Chris hit one into the Crawford boxes. The Astros went deep 3 times in a game for the first time this year. 2-2. Now, compared to 40 games into the season last year, they have scored 3 fewer runs this year, believe it or not. But their net runs much better. Almost hit him on the leg. 3-2.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Steel. Number 5 there, that arc slider from Lewis, well down and in. See the pattern, working him away initially, then taking a shot inside. This will probably be a little 2-seamer running to the outside corner. Hit it to left or not.
Well, it's going to left. He caught it.
See the value of getting that ball down.
After 2, 5-0 Rangers.
To mark on your calendar, the legendary rainbow jerseys return to the playing field as the Astros take on the Reds for Flashback Friday, June 1st. Astro great J.R. Richard will toss the ceremonial first pitch. Fans can enjoy Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation So root now and buy tickets for Flashback Fridays at Astros.com.
June 1, Cincinnati.
And whoever catches that ceremonial first pitch, don't call for the slider.
Yeah, better put your gear on.
J.R. Richard throwing Texas Heat June 1st against Cincinnati. David Murphy hits a slicing foul ball. There's strike one as he leads off the third inning. He drew an intentional walk and scored in the first. .272 for David. He's driven in 14. That one's in tight, and it's a 1-1 count with Cruz and Torrealba to follow. Johnny Cueto and CC Sabathia pitching at Yankee Stadium. Two-hopper out to second. Altuve takes care of out number one. At Cincinnati nothing, the Yankees nothing after 5. AT&T has some trivia for us, and here's our advanced look at the question. J.R. Richard, Nolan Ryan, Phil Niekro, and Tom Seaver were in the top 5 in 1978 in strikeouts. Name the only non-Hall of Famer also in the top 5. The only non-Hall of Famer.
Both leagues.
Strike one. Yes.
1978.
I'll give you a clue. It was the American. One ball, one strike. Bill Boudreau, guess Frank Tanana. That is not right.
I think he won 25 games that year.
Okay. 2 balls and strike. But as far as the hand with which he threw the baseball, that is correct. Three and 1. He started the season 13-0 until the Brewers handed him a setback. He is from a southern state.
He may have gotten the MVP that year, didn't he?
Ooh.
I don't know if he did or not. No, I think Jim Rice got the MVP, but he was.
Yeah, you're right.
Got a lot of votes.
Yeah. He was recently involved in a book, right, with.
That's right.
Yogi Berra.
That's correct.
That you were telling us about. It was last week. Fly ball to right field. Bogusevic turning. 2 outs. So let's see who that answer was to AT&T trivia. Niekro, Ryan, Seaver, Richard, Ron Guidry, the only non-Hall of Famer who was not listed in that group.
Louisiana Lightning, Gator.
Yep.
Punched out 18 Angels in June of that year. 25-3 with a 1.74 ERA.
Wow. Yorvit Torrealba was hit by a pitch in the first inning. You know, speaking of pitchers who were born in the South, Roy Oswald, as you know, is from Mississippi. There's a story about him today. He's been conducting some sessions for teams from Texas, Philadelphia, and I think St. Louis maybe. So who knows when he'll crop up.
I don't know, but I think some wise TV executive should jump on that and turn it into a reality series. Who wants Roy? Go behind the scenes with all the discussions. What do you think? How much has he got left in the tank? Well, let's go watch him pitch. Watch him throw a side session.
Now that third team was Boston, not the Phillies. 3 balls and a strike. So maybe Roy will sign with somebody pretty soon, have a few minor league starts, and he's back in the big leagues, pitching for a contender. Swing and a miss. Torrealba takes the count to 3-2 now.
Jordan doing a nice job after getting ambushed in the first inning, settling in here, making much better pitches. Gave up the hit to Hamilton, but struck out 3 last inning, and a little cut fastball there to get a swing and miss from Torrealba, who's cheating on a heater.
This one goes to right field. Bogusevic over. It's a 1-2-3 third for Jordan Lyles. Now the Astros will try to get some run support going, trailing 5-0 in the third.
Cancer Center making cancer history. It was on this date in 1978. Houston beat Atlanta 13-0. J.R. Richard threw his second straight shutout. The offense was led by Jose Cruz, who had 4 hits and drove in 6. A big day in Astros history, 1978. Well, Astros history could be made today if they rally down 5-0. That would be the largest deficit overcome this year. Plenty of time to do it. Brownie and J.D. on the call.
Well, one thing that helps is if a team has done something like that recently, maybe as far as the mental approach. And the Astros did it last night, trailing 4-0. So they need to get something started. And Jordan Lyles leads it off here in the home third. Then Altuve and Lowry to follow and try to get Colby Lewis into the stretch and maybe hit one of those home runs he's allowed. He's allowed 12 this year. That's tops in the majors. Lyles is looking for his first hit. He does have an RBI on a squeeze bunt. There's strike one for Lewis. Oh, 2. Lewis 2-0 at Minute Maid Park with a 1.72 ERA.
That didn't take long.
No, it did not. 3 pitches.
Jordan's a good athlete. He can swing the bat a little bit. Not sure what he was thinking there.
Well, Lewis got the 2-run single off him, and now Lewis strikes him out.
Jordan was guessing ball.
Altuve comes up. He doubled inside the third base bag in the first inning. Leadoff double, but then he was stranded. The Astros as a team are hitting .284 with runners in scoring position, but they didn't deliver in that first inning. Altuve takes strike one. Tom Verducci was talking on the Fox telecast last night on Channel 26 in Houston about Altuve having almost 900 at bats last year. Just incredible. Ground ball. Beltre. 2 down. But he says, hey, I'm young. I can do it. Now Jed Lowry, he lined to right in the first. Well, you know, we were wondering, J.D., for a couple of weeks when you read those promos every night about how that big soccer match would come out. But Didier Drogba did provide the penalty kick difference as Chelsea beat Bayern Munich.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. I know you wanted to know that.
Yeah. But he was the guy.
He was the man.
Drogba.
We were promoting him for a long, long time, and he came through. Some kind of pressure. Lowry is 3 for 6 lifetime against Lewis and 342 lifetime against Texas coming into this game. 1-1. Well, the Cubs are here starting tomorrow night for a 3-game series with 3 7:05 starts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Bud Norris and Matt Garza tomorrow night.
That game should feature a lot of swings and misses with those two on the hill.
You bet. And Tuesday night it's Jay Happ and Travis Wood. No Kerry Wood anymore with the Cubs. And Wednesday night, Wandy Rodriguez and Jeff Samardzija. Starting pitchers for tomorrow are brought to you by Chevron, driving right in with that matchup. 6:30 on FS Houston for Astros Live. Garza with that low batting average, 199 against, and Bud Norris is pitching very well.
He's been better than Bud Norris in May.
Ooh, not many. Nobody?
Well,
okay.
If you talk about ERA, nobody. 0.47 ERA in May.
Got a pretty good shot at pitcher of the month then.
Major League best.
A couple more starts to go in May. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros have won all but 1 of his 8 starts, and there you see the breakdown.
1 earned run in 19 innings pitched this month for Bud.
Bud is 2-2 lifetime against the Cubs, and his ERA against them is 2.39. That's ripped on a line to right field. Cruz is back for this one too. Well, Lowry has whacked 2 liners caught by Cruz in this game, and that's 7 straight retired by Lewis. 5-0 Rangers. as 10 Rangers went to the plate. Now here is a foul ball from Colby Lewis. He got a 2-run single in that 5-run first inning. And there's strike one to Lewis, to be followed by Kinsler and Andrews. Rangers are tougher to beat on the road than they are at home this year. Flailed at that one. 0-2. They are 14-7 on the road, and that's a club record in winning percentage after 21 games. They'll go to Seattle next. 1-2. Rangers have scored the most runs in interleague play of any team. They also have hit the most homers. 359 interleague homers as a team. And that's strike three. That's the 4th strikeout for Lyles. We're reading more and more stories, JD, about next year's schedule. It sounds as if the teams in the AL West, which will include Houston next year, will be playing the teams in the NL Central.
Yeah, that's what I read that the other day. There's a tentative working schedule out there, nothing finalized yet.
That'll have a comfortable feel for Astros fans, getting to see those teams in the NL Central some more. Ian Kinsler has singled and he's grounded out. Both of them in the first inning.
And baseball with the Astros moved to the American League, 2 15-team leagues now, and they're looking to create more parity in the schedule. But they're trying to keep the traditional rivalries in interleague play as well. So that's the bug they're trying to work out. They still want to have the Mets, Yankees, Cubs, White Sox, some of those really compelling series that sell a lot of tickets and create a lot of revenue. You don't want to say goodbye to that if you're a major league owner.
Right.
But they are trying to create a system where teams within the same division play almost identical schedules.
Kinsler fouls it. Now, what we're reading is that there's one possibility that we'll say the Yankees and Mets play 6 games right now. It might be cut down to 4. A couple of 2-game series, home and home. It's under consideration anyway.
Yeah, and how about it all in the same week? Right in a row. Two at Citi Field, 2 at Yankee Stadium. That'd be kind of fun.
It would be.
The irony of the Astros would lose their interleague natural rival because they'd be in the same league as the Rangers. So we wouldn't have that kind of a scenario.
From what we're hearing, the teams being considered as a natural rival for the Astros in interleague play are Colorado and Arizona.
Yeah, there's a lot of history with those clubs.
Oh, well. Struck him out. That's number 5. Well, Lyles has it going after the 5-run first inning.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of things went wrong in that first inning, but if you could just have that at bat against Lewis back, and this was a 3-0 game as opposed to 5-0, the way he's going right now, it'd feel a whole lot better.
Well, that's so true. That's a huge difference between 3 runs and 5. Kinsler's down, and it's Andrews now. He's 1 for 2. Looking at ball 1.
This is, you know, we talked about Jordan in his last start, how he was really throwing the ball well, and we talked about whether he's major league ready or if he's just up here because there's a need. And our argument was that, you know, through 2 starts, he certainly looked major league ready the way he pitched, and now the way he's responding to giving up that 5 spot in the first inning. No deer in the headlights, no panic. He's out there doing his thing. And that's another part of the maturation of a pitcher. How do you respond to adversity? You get knocked around a little bit. Do you crater? Do they have to get you out of there, or do you stay in and compete?
It can really wreck a bullpen if they have to get you out early. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Getting hit around like you did in the first inning, it would chase some pitchers out of the strike zone. That has not been the case with Lyles here this afternoon.
Yeah, if a starter has to come out in the first inning, we'll say that could have an effect that could last for a long time on the bullpen. 3-2.
Just a curveball that squirted out of his hand.
Steven Strasburg has hit a homer for Washington. There's that curveball. And Washington leads Baltimore 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. In a battle of the Beltway.
First place Orioles have won 5 in a row.
Off the heel of Lyles. He scrambles for it, but won't have a play. That's an infield hit for Andrews. His 2nd hit of the game.
Maybe the bottom of the foot. Jump to try to get out of the way.
Could have been
back of the foot.
Yeah. Carlos Lee comes over to talk. 2-out hit, and Hamilton's the batter. Hamilton with a sac fly and a single to right field. Sees the infield overshifted again. And there's the way it looks. Chris Johnson's about halfway between second and third.
A rare first pitch take from Hamilton. He goes up there hacking.
He sure does. He is ready to hit from the outset. Josh has walked 16 times this year. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Nolan Ryan has been asked this weekend about the Hamilton contract situation, whether the Rangers might approach him during this season. He said, well, maybe, but we'll just let things play out. But he thought it would be more likely that it would be settled after the season is over with Hamilton's contract. 3 balls, no strikes. Colby Lewis also in the final year of his deal. Hamilton takes a 4-pitch walk, and it's first and second, 2 outs for Beltre. That's the second walk. Go with a hit batter for Lyles. Beltre's 0 for 2, fly ball to left center deep and a strikeout. The Rangers now have enormous assets. They have a new TV deal, and of course all the revenues from winning back-to-back American League championships and the big crowds that they've been drawing. So their payroll's rather high right now. That's strike 1. '89 pitches for Lyles, with Andrews at second and Hamilton at first.
The cut fastball's probably been his best weapon today. The curveball has let him down on a couple of occasions.
It's 1-1. Jordan wound up throwing a lot of cut fastballs last season. Josh Johnson and Miami are beating Derek Lowe and Cleveland 5-1 in the middle of the 8th inning at Cleveland. Lance Berkman got hurt again last night for St. Louis. Right knee strain.
Boston's only played 13 games this year.
Wow. They had a calf injury before that, and he had to be helped off the field last night. He was just stretching at first base to take a throw and got hurt. Big cut there by Beltre. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Evil intent for this swing. Long stride, big aggressive hack at that high fastball, but a little tardy.
That's Josh Beckett shutting out the Phillies. 5-0 Boston, bottom of the 6th inning in Philadelphia. Mike Aviles hit his 8th homer. Jared Saltalamacchia, number 7. That's lined and caught by Altuve, laying out to snatch a ball that was headed for right field and robbing Beltre. It's no runs, a hit, 2 men stranded. Middle of the 4th inning, 5-0 Rangers.
Houston is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the new Chipotle Chicken Club. Make it a combo with fries and a drink. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy.
Rangers 5, Astros nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning coming, and Houston's objective now is to get some traffic on, get some runs on the board against Colby Lewis, who's set down 7 in a row. It'll be Bogusevic, Lee, and Buck in the Houston 4th inning. Bogusevic fouled out to third in the first. And that's ball 1 floating up to Brian.
Yeah, Lewis with just the 1 walk in the ball game. He walked Carlos Lee, and it was kind of a semi-intentional walk. He didn't want to give in to him with the man on second base after he had fallen behind. So unlikely that he's going to do any favors. And Walker, you're going to have to hit your way aboard. Astros came from 4 down in last night's ball game. Really something to do it on back-to-back days.
Saw Lucas Harrell there on the bench, 1 and 2. He was getting some cramping in his calf at the end of the outing last night, coming out after 5 2/3. Nothing serious there. Fouled away. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And Jordan Schaefer was much better today. So it sounds as if he'll just need a few days off. Cut in on Bogusevic. Bogey fouling it to keep the count at 1 and 2. Detroit 4, Pittsburgh 2. They played 7 in Detroit. So Harrell was able to hang in, and Schaefer's benched for a few days, it sounds like. And Bogusevic strikes out. It's number 4 for Lewis. 8 in a row for him. He's given up just the leadoff double by Altuve. Talked about his ratio. It's excellent of walks to strikeouts now. 9 walks, 51 strikeouts for Lewis. Carlos Lee drew one of those walks. That came in the first inning. Taking strike 1. Astros are 3-1 on this homestand. Travis Buck on deck. Cubs coming in for 3 to wrap up the 8-game homestand. 0-2. They've had 6 rubber games to decide 3-game series. They're 1-5 in those. Little bouncer out to second. Kinsler on to first. 2 outs.
Well, clearly the Astros need to start winning the first 2 games of the series, and then they could just avoid that whole rubber game scenario.
Yeah. Well, you know, baseball players, managers, coaches talk all the time about winning series. Travis Buck struck out with 2 men on to end the first inning.
Tony La Russa didn't.
What did he talk about?
Let's just tonight's game.
Well, that's
tonight's game. No, there's no. What happened in the past is past, and what tomorrow, don't worry about that. It's all about today.
That's probably a much better approach. Because if you're talking about winning a series and you've lost the first 2, now you're already defeated in that regard. You still have a game to win.
I think players mostly say that because they have to say something. Right? Being interviewed or talking to people, they have to have an opinion. Really, for the most part, guys just worry about today's game. There's not a single guy in that Astros dugout that is thinking at all about tomorrow's game with the Cubs.
Missing liner to left for a hit. Well, that's the first hit since Altuve led off the first with a single.
The exception would be the starting pitchers.
Yeah.
They're pitching in that series. They've already turned the page on this.
That's for sure.
Well, here's the formula for success against Lewis. Again, he's not going to walk you, highly unlikely. So base hit, bloop, a blast, that kind of thing. He does give up home runs, so you got to take advantage of these base runners. When he's struggled this year, it's because he's caught too much of the plate with his fastball. So far today, he hasn't done that very often. He's been on the corners, kept the ball down.
Ball 1 to Johnson.
And he's on his glove side command. The ability to throw that fastball down and away on the corner to right-handed hitters is really, really good.
CJ takes it. It's ball 2. Chris hit the first pitch in the air to right field in the second inning. It's the Mets 6, Toronto 3. They've played 7 in Toronto at Rogers Center. Dylan G started for New York. He's out of the game now. Jose Bautista hit his 11th homer. Now 3-0 to Chris Johnson. He's walked 5 times this year.
I'd be tempted to green light him right here.
Well, he's one of those guys who can hit the ball out of the park. Get a couple of runs on the board early.
He's taking all the way. I mean, the guy behind him, Maxwell, can hit the ball out of the ballpark too, but the guy behind him might not get a 3-0 count to swing at. He's going to throw him a slider here.
3-2. That's Lewis's put away pitch. That slider.
He was willing to give in 3-0 because he knew there was a high percentage that he was going to be taking. 3-1, he knew he was swinging, so he came with a nasty slider, perfectly placed.
The runner moving. There's a ball hit in the air to right center and caught on the run by Hamilton. 2 in the 4th. No runs, a hit, a man left. 5-0 Rangers.
Build Mazdas. What do you drive? Well, the Chicago Cubs come to Minute Maid Park tomorrow for a 3-game series and a pretty good pitching matchup. Bud Norris goes for the Astros against Matt Garza of the Cubs. Bud's been pitching very well, 3-0 in his 3 May starts with a Major League best 47 ERA. And the Astros are 7-1 in his 8 starts. And this has been your Mazda Game Break. Let's send it back to you, Bill and JD.
Thanks, Patty. Bud Norris attended to Game 3 of this series. For Game 1 of the next series starts at 7:05 tomorrow night. He's watching Jordan Lyles, who trails 5-0, but who has pitched 3 shutout innings since the 5-run first. Face Michael Young. Young fouls it for strike 1. Young is 1 for 2. He doubled in that 5-run first inning and scored. Rangers have had only 1 year better than this year after 40 games. Actually, they played 41. That was 1996. 1 game better than their record currently. 1 ball, 1 strike. And they have needed only 25 men on their roster this entire season. Nobody's been on the DL. Nobody's been demoted. Jed Lowry spins. There's Ed Young. 1 out. But Ron Washington has rested his players. He's moved back some pitchers an extra day in the rotation. Good action on that to get it off the barrel.
And nice play here by Lowry, too. Under control as he spins and a good accurate throw.
David Murphy walked intentionally and he grounded out. There's strike 1. So it's been a remarkably trouble-free season for the Rangers. They decided to replace C.J. Wilson in their rotation with Yu Darvish. He'll go tomorrow night at Seattle, and he has been a sensation. He's 6-1 with a 2.60 ERA. His mound opponent will be Felix Hernandez tomorrow night. That should be worth watching. Out to left center field, Travis Buck taking a look. And that one goes over his head, and David Murphy takes the tour. Second home run of the weekend for David Murphy, who hit the inside the park homer last night, and this is number 5 of the season for him.
Back home in Houston, Murphy having a nice weekend. This time he gets to jog around the bases. That's the problem. When you give up that 5 spot early, you can ill afford to make any mistakes. This is the middle innings of the game. Murphy riding this one out of the ballpark. 2-seamer moving away from him. He just stays on it. That was very Jim Edmonds-like right there, that approach. Chatting with Craig Biggio, Jed Lowry batting cage the other day. That's what Biz was telling Jed. He's a left-handed hitter. Park really plays well with that off-field approach. Edmonds used to just sit back and ping the ball the other way.
Yeah, he did. Hit those Crawford boxes a few times. Strikeout of Cruz, 2 outs. That's number 6. That was the 4th homer allowed by Lyles. This is his 17th inning. 102 pitches for Jordan. He'll be due up 3rd in the bottom of the 5th.
He's moving away from Murphy, but it's up a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for a hitter to get to. If he has to go down and get that ball, changes the angle of the bat. Maybe it's just a little lazy fly ball.
Torrealba shoots 1 foul. He is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch. Mike Napoli, of course, hits extremely well. He did the catching last night and Friday night. Torrealba doesn't have those hitting credentials. It's 1-1.
Brewers getting a little revenge on the Twins, leading Minnesota 10-1 at the bottom of the 4th.
Brewers are 16-24 now.
Lost 4 in a row. coming into this one today. 2 here to Houston, and the first 2 of that series with the Twins.
Corey Hart hit his 9th, and Jonathan Lucroy added number 3.
We should have a trophy for that series too, like a stuffed muskie or something.
Zach Greinke's pitching. Jason Marquis got hammered. He gave up 8 earned runs in 1 2/3 innings. Stuffed muskie. You ever had that?
That curveball squirting out on him again.
Kind of like pickled eel, isn't it? 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I don't think you really eat muskie.
Oh.
No, that's just a good sport fish.
Just fish.
You don't want to eat a muskie.
No. That's a 2-out walk. And Lyles won't be too happy with that one. Now the pitcher comes up. We go to Greg.
Hey, you can join the Astros race for the pennant, the 10th annual race for the pennant, next Saturday, presented by the Methodist Center for Sports Medicine. This year, the race will include a 5K, a new 10K, and a Junction Jack Kids Fun Run. Proceeds will benefit the Astros in Action Foundation, so register today at astros.com/race.
Lewis fouls it for strike 1. Lewis had the 2-run single in the first inning and struck out in the 4th. And leads it 6-0 here as he bats in the 5th inning. Rangers starting rotation looking good this year, with Darvish having that capability of becoming a #1 starter. Colby Lewis was the opening day starter this season.
Yeah, he just has lost the feel for that curveball completely, and that's what happens. You try to make it happen and you pull off the pitch a little bit. You see how he's finishing so far on the first base side. He's trying to force it. Instead of staying closed, getting leverage against his front leg and then pulling down to get the curveball, he's pulling that front shoulder open and it's just floating.
Grounded, and Lee got his mitt on it, but that just slowed it down. It trickles into right field for Lewis's 2nd hit of the game. And now it's 1st and 2nd for Kinsler with 2 outs.
Caballo not able to flag that one down. Lewis having a heck of a day here. He's gotten as many hits as he's allowed. Really, for the first time this afternoon, we're seeing the frustration on the face of Lyles after the walk to Torrealba and those errant curveballs. So a good time for Doug Brocale to go out there and chat with his young right-hander. This is a game that the Astros still have a fighting chance in. But a couple of men aboard here for Kinsler, who's one of the more dangerous leadoff men in baseball. He pops one here. It's pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah. So the concentration, the focus for Jordan Lyles needs to be on Kinsler. Could be his last batter. Either way, if he gets him or he doesn't. Looked like Wilton Lopez was getting loose. Yeah, he's just started to throw. Kinsler's 1 for 3. 112 pitches for Lyles, so that's pushing it a bit. 69 have been strikes. That's a good one for strike 1. Lopez does not need much time to get ready. With his sinker, he can be good at getting the ground balls.
Somewhat surprised that Lopez is up, though, in a 6-0 ball game. I mean, he's the guy you use to protect leads late in games.
Threw 19 pitches last night.
I'm really surprised that he's up.
Yep. We were kind of wondering about him in the clubhouse before the game today, some of the media folks, whether he would be available. And somebody said, oh, you know he will be.
Yeah, he's never going to say no. And I think when he's like this, Millsy would use him for just one hitter.
Right.
Come in and finish his inning, then he's done.
Quality pitch there, but apparently just off the plate. That takes it to 3-1. Andrus is on deck. Ripped and diving. Chris Johnson with the throw. Tremendous play by Johnson with 2 men on base for the final out of the inning. Murphy's homer gives the Rangers an additional run on 2 hits. They leave 2, but CJ comes up with a spectacular effort to his right. 6-0 Rangers in the 5th.
Astros fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show. It's called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or you can visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Many of the kids watching the game here in person, their own show right here on Fox Sports Houston. Back to Brownie and JD.
Thanks, Greg. 6-0. Colby Lewis is cruising, and he's provided 2 of the Rangers' 9 hits. He's held the Astros to 2 hits. It'll be Maxwell, Castro, and then a pinch hitter for Jordan Lyles. Here in the Astros' 5th inning as they try to stir up the pot a little bit. Lewis shooting for win number 4 of the year.
5 in the 5th will be the rallying cry in the Astros dugout.
Ooh. Well, the Rangers certainly hoping Lewis can take this game deep for them. Their starters have worked just 15 innings in the last 3 games. First time they've done that. They've been going pretty deep into ball games. Justin Maxwell struck out on a 3-2 count back in the 2nd inning. Showing bunt to try to get a base runner on, and he takes ball 1. Rangers have 23 quality starts, tied for 4th in the American League. They lead the league in strikeouts for starting rotations. 1 ball, 1 strike. The starters began the year 10-0. Popped up. Michael Young over. 1 out.
Fairly typical Lewis game. A lot of balls in the air. Doesn't get a lot of ground ball outs. Gets swings and misses on his breaking ball, and he throws a lot of fastballs just above the hands, just above that real happy zone where guys can square him up. Gets a lot of pop-ups and lazy fly balls. He's not a real hard thrower, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have an effective fastball. 87, 88 miles an hour for the most part today, but puts it in good spots. It's a little sneaky, gets in on the hitter a little quicker than they anticipate.
Castro fly to left on a 3-2 pitch, a fastball. This one goes in the air, and that's sending Andrews out. 2 outs quickly, and Fernando Rodriguez has begun to warm up in the Astros bullpen. JD Martinez was in the on-deck circle, but now he's been called back. It's going to be Jay Happ because Brad Mills is very short-handed on his bench today. Jordan Schaefer is not available.
So you got a 4-man bench. You're down 6 runs. There's 2 outs and nobody on. Why waste one of your pinch hitters? And you have a very little chance of making anything happen. And Happ handles the bat okay. There's a fighting chance he could get on.
He's 0 for 2 career pinch hitting. Taking strike 1.
You got a big comeback to mount here, so you want to have all those resources available if you have key situations later in the game with men on base.
Marwin Gonzalez, a switch hitter, of course, is available. JD Martinez, Matt Downs, Chris Snyder are the others on the bench, and Schaefer can't play today. That's strike 3. After 5, it's 6-0 Rangers.
Nothing, beautiful little pink hat baby down there, and I've got another pink hat guy up here as my progressive fan of the game. Obviously he's not a baby, but he's about to have a baby. This is Scott, and this is actually a man shower. It's a baby shower up here. Tell us a little bit about your group.
Well, it's a shower. Every time there's a baby shower, it's always for the women. They open up all the presents, and I thought a man shower would be really cool because I have something to do with the baby as well. So I got all the fellas together. We got in the suite, and we're watching a good Astros game. Yeah.
All right, now Troy, I know you're kind of heading this up a little bit. What happens if his wife goes into labor today during this game?
Well, we'll have to wait for the game to end first, and we'll get plenty of souvenirs and jerseys for the newborn, onesies, but they're going to have to wait.
Game comes first, then the baby.
Game comes first. Baseball's first.
All right, that is a true Astro fan, and that is why Scott is our progressive fan of the game. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys.
You can relate, Patty.
A man shower. I didn't know it existed.
Why not?
I like it.
Fernando Rodriguez just throwing ball one to Elvis Andrus, who's 2 for 3. Coming in the game, and it's a 2-ball, no strike count. It takes Fernando longer to get loose than Wilton Lopez. So when Lyles got the final out there in the 5th inning on that great play by Chris Johnson, that changed the approach for Brad Mills, gave him time to get Fernando ready to start the inning clean. And that was line to right field. Bogusevic over. 1 out. Jordan Lyles went 5 innings. He allowed 9 hits, 6 runs, walking 3, fanning 6. He threw 117 pitches, 71 for strikes. Efrod, Fernando 1-4 with a 4.11 ERA.
So he can come in here and work a couple of innings. Jordan Lyles, the number's not good today, but he did pitch well after that first inning. He can take that much from this outing this afternoon.
Josh Hamilton's up. Looking at a breaking pitch, strike 1. Josh with a single, a sac fly, and a walk in this game. Fernando pitched Friday night. He gave up a homer to Adrian Beltre in his 2 innings of work. He struck out 4. Curveball gets strike 2. The infield shifted around on Hamilton.
Good yacker here from Efrod. Waving at it, missing it by a mile.
Boy, he did. That wasn't close. Altuve is there at the back of the infield, but not out onto the grass. Hamilton puts it in the air. Chris Johnson sprinting over into foul territory. He has a long way to come, but it's in the dugout.
Yeah, I guess the thinking there, you can't play too deep with Hamilton because he runs well.
That's right.
He hits a routine ground ball to you out there in shallow right. He might beat it out. If Adam Dunn up there, he'd probably be a few steps into the outfield. Speaking of which, Adam Dunn hit another home run today.
Boy,
he's having a nice bounce back here, I believe. Yeah, it's 14 for him now.
He's on a pace to hit between 50 and 60, I believe, this year. It's a pretty good pace.
Pretty good pace to be the comeback player of the year.
Yeah, it is.
Heck, if he hit 230, he would have the case for being comeback player of the year.
He really would. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beltre's on deck. White Sox 3, Cubs nothing. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Wrigley. And Gordon Beckham also hit 1, his 4th. Tyler Flowers hit his 2nd. Line drive to left. Buck over. Buck leaps right in front of the wall.
Nando's got him popping up. Line drive to right, line drive to left, 2 outs, nobody on.
Took a pretty good play to get that out.
Well, tough play because of the decision too, right? Because you're never sure if you get too close to the wall and it bangs off the wall, then hitter might run a long way. But Buck with a good read on it realized he could snag it before it got to the wall.
Sure did. 2 down, and it's Beltre now. Altuve laid out to rob him in the 4th with 2 men on. He's 0 for 3. We've had some really good plays by the Astros. Chris Johnson with that sparkling effort with 2 men on in the last inning. The Rangers have left 7 on base. They are a relentless offensive team. That's in the air to right field. Bogusevic over to right center. Maxwell will make a catch. 3 fly ball outs take care of the Rangers in the 6th by Fernando Rodriguez, and it's 6-0 Texas.
The Astros will finish the homestand with a series against the Cubs tomorrow through Wednesday here at Minute Maid Park. Each game starts at 7:05, and on Wednesday 10,000 fans receive an Astros cap courtesy of the Methodist Hospital System. Root now and buy tickets at Astros.com. You know, you hear those promos from us throughout every game, but the big thing is, if you remember Astros.com, you can almost get all of your answers to what you have questions to. Astros.com, that's the place to really check for all the news with the ball club. Guys, back to you.
Perhaps you were wondering, hey, Greg, where'd you get that tie?
Is that available at Astros.com?
No, that's not Astros.com.
Oh, okay.
But just about everything else.
Everything else. They've got Astros ties at Astros.com.
They sure do, but nothing like that.
No, well, these aren't Astros colors.
They might be next year. We haven't heard yet. Altuve takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Says there's no ties in baseball.
Altuve opened the game in the home first with a double for the Astros. He grounded out in the third, so he's pulled the ball third base side both times. This one goes up the middle and into center field. Another multi-hit game, his 17th of the year.
Yeah, I think he's at his best when he's using all fields. He has a tendency to get into a little habit where he's rolling over, trying to pull the ball a little bit. Still capable of getting hits that way, but he's at his best when he's hitting up the middle, looking to go the middle, up the middle or the other way, and then reacting and pulling that inside pitch or that hanging breaking ball. He's quick enough to do that. Doesn't have to cheat.
He has 49 hits. Lowry has pulled the ball and lined twice to right field. You were talking about that conversation on what Jim Edmonds did with Biggio and you. Jed Lowry talking about that. But Jed's more of a pull hitter, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, how hard are you going to work at trying to do that? Does it take you out of your natural swing, and then you get into a real bat funk? I remember when Adam Everett was here, and Adam was a pull hitter. And, he had the ability. He did hit one in the Crawford boxes every now and then, but he didn't hit for an average. So you got to find a way to get this guy to hit the ball the other way and up the middle. And they tried to change his swing, and it never panned out for him, right?
Yep.
They might have been better off leaving him alone and let him hit for low average, but occasionally yank one into the seats. Catch everything in sight.
Well, as the count goes to 1-2, I can see why you try to emphasize that with a guy like Adam Everett. If he can hit the ball to right center and to right field, point you made earlier, if you have a runner at first, he gets to third on that hit. It could really help with a big inning, but it just doesn't always take.
Yeah, when we had Gerald Young way back in the day, and they got kind of caught in between with Gerald because some people wanted him to stand up and drive the ball, and other people wanted him to crouch and slap the ball and use his speed. And I think he got caught in between. He's getting different messages. Lowry, I wouldn't try to change the way he's going right now. He's come down a little bit the last 10 days or so, but still hitting for a good average and showing decent pop.
He has been hitting in some tough luck during that period of time. Hit some balls hard that have been caught. Altuve has 49 hits already. He's just under a 200 hit pace for the season. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Rangers with a pretty solid bullpen. This would seem to be the Astros' last best chance to make a game of this. Leadoff man aboard. 2-3-4 coming up here.
Lowry takes it. It's 3-2 to Jet. Reiner Cruz working for Houston. Oakland and San Francisco have a later afternoon start for Bartolo Colon and Tim Lincecum in the battle of the Bay Area teams, and they're battling for part of San Francisco's market, San Jose. Oakland wants it. Fly ball back out of play. And some recent stories indicating that there could be legal action now because the Giants for years have had a team in San Jose. Oakland wants to move its major league club to San Jose, but that's a Giants market. But is it protectable by legal action? Well, of course, Major League Baseball would prefer to avoid that at all costs, but Commissioner Bud Selig has said that's up to the teams to work it out. Foul ball.
But clubs have territorial rights, correct?
Yes.
So if that's in the Giants' territory, what legal right would the A's have to build a ballpark there?
They really wouldn't have any except to threaten to go to court against
to dispute the whole rule period that it shouldn't even exist, this territorial,
and it would involve the antitrust exemption.
Oh, okay.
So that could be getting very deep. Check swing roller. It goes to Beltre. Gets caught in between hops. Throws flat footed, and then Young digs it out. He got caught in between, but still got the out, and Altuve went to second on out number 1. Started to charge, and then he held his ground, and it worked out for him.
Always better off as an infielder if you're moving forward to start the play than retreating. And he came hard, then made the adjustment.
One down, and Bogusevic bats. Bogey 0 for 2. He's fouled out and struck out. Batting third today. 225 average currently for Bryant.
Bobby Meacham teaches the infielders to always, anytime a ball hits in the dirt in front of home plate, that dirt area out in front of home plate, you're charging. Don't ever wait back.
I like that a lot. You have to learn to make that play on the short hop coming in, but if you're moving in, it's a better play. So many bad things can happen when you try to lay back and react to the ball. 1-1, Dave Clark reminding Altuve. 1 out in the inning. Two balls and a strike. Detroit knocked off Pittsburgh 4-3. Max Scherzer going to 3-3. Beating Kevin Correa. He's 1-5. Joaquin Benoit got his first save. Big fella Jose Valverde down for a while with an injury. Bounce to second. Kinsler on to Young. 2 outs. Altuve to third. Well, as spirited as the Astros were offensively last night with the 3 home runs coming from behind to win 6-5, they have not been able to get much going. This is more like the Friday night game. They lost 4-1 when they got 4 singles.
In keeping with that old adage, momentum in baseball is tomorrow's starting pitcher. Right? Astros a big come from behind win. Oh, they got all the momentum. Well, on the other side pitches a good game. I don't care what yesterday's game looked like.
Ball 1 to Carlos. Carlos has walked and grounded out. One ball, 1 strike. Lewis snapped that one off. Carlos took a big cut.
Might have tweaked something.
Might have. He's walking around.
Took a swing. I think it was in Pittsburgh on the last road trip where he actually fell down. He's been doing this a little bit more lately, trying to generate some power, cheating, trying to get out in front of a fastball. And when you do that, if you don't get that fastball, you can get fooled badly and look bad. But I kind of like it. I like the more aggressive approach from him early. Big swings and misses, not a bad idea early in the count.
Pitch in on him. Looked like he was shaking his left wrist a little bit after that last swing, and then the bat might have come around and hit the shin guard of Torrealba. 2 balls and a strike. Travis Buck on deck. A little roller goes out toward the pitcher, but Torrealba bare hands it and throws him out. No runs, a hit. Runner stranded at third. 6-0 Texas after 6.
Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Hyundai. New Hyundai owners are talking about their car in the booth. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Game moves to the top of the 7th. The Astros have a new arm on the hill. Brownie and JD will tell you about it.
He's the young right-hander, Reiner Cruz. That's Nelson Cruz jersey there, but Reiner comes in with a 1-0 record, an ERA of 3. 10 strikeouts and 8 walks in 12 innings. And he had a spate of wildness Friday night, but pitched scoreless baseball. He hit Elvis Andrus with a pitch, JD.
2/3 of an inning in that outing, and control has been an issue for him throughout his career. You see a low ERA here, but 8 walks in 12 innings. So the more he pitches, the more that's likely to come back to bite him. Great stuff, though. Just a matter of being able to harness it.
Michael Young to Jed Lowry. 1 pitch, 1 out. He harnessed that one. Fernando Rodriguez had a 1-2-3 6th inning. Didn't need very many pitches at all. So that should keep him in play for tomorrow night against the Cubs. David Murphy ripped a homer to left center in the 5th inning. He has scored 2 runs in this game in his return home. Reiner Cruz is pitching for the 3rd time on this homestand. Gave up a couple of runs in 1 inning against Milwaukee Wednesday. Strike to Murphy. Rangers got off to a 17-6 start in the month of April. They were 9-1 on the road best winning percentage in the majors, .739. They didn't have a loss by a starting pitcher until they played a doubleheader at Detroit April 21st. Cruz tossing to Lee. 2 outs on 3 pitches for Reiner. Now it's Cruz versus Cruz. Nelson comes up. He had the 2-run single in the first. He's 1 for 3. The Angels getting out of the gate so slowly in the AL West. Texas has built a lead of 5 over Oakland. Oakland's a game under 500 at 20-21. The Angels are 5 under. And Seattle is in last place, 7.5 games back.
That's where the tendency for Reiner is to drop that arm a little bit and have that fastball sail up and in on right-handed hitters. And that's the concern. Almost took Ian Kinsler's head off here the other night.
There's a slider whacked on a line into left center field. Maxwell over to backhand it and make the throw to hold him to a single. Good play by Maxwell. Cruz gets his second hit. Torrealba will come up next. He's been on twice. He was hit by a pitch and walked. Lance Berkman has been placed on the disabled list today by the Cardinals after he injured his right knee last night. Cardinals purchased the contract of Matt Adams from Memphis. Torrealba takes ball 1. We read one story about that during the game last night in Los Angeles, general manager of the Cardinals, John Mozeliak, placed a call to their AAA club, and AAA team was playing in Las Vegas, and they got Adams out of the game right away. That's line to center field. Torrealba continues the 2-out stirring here for Texas. Back-to-back singles with Lewis coming up.
Yeah, that always creates great drama down there in the AAA club when inexplicably somebody gets yanked out of the game or taken out of the lineup before the game starts. Hey, dude, you're going up. You're going up. Of course, now with the, text messaging and everything, I'm sure they're texting the guys on the big league club. Somebody get hurt? What's going on?
Yeah. Colby Lewis has a pair of hits already. 2 runs batted in with the first one in the 5-run Ranger first. And there's strike 1 to Lewis. And Matt Adams was hitting .340 for Memphis with 9 homers, 27 runs batted in. And he was the Cardinals minor league player of the year last year and has yet to appear in a major league game. We get our first look at the Cubs tomorrow night.
And the great Brian LaHair.
He's been something.
Tearing it up.
Yeah, it's been an interesting decision to go with him at first base. And it's worked out extremely well. He's hitting .311, 10 homers, 21 runs batted in.
Slowed down some, but boy, what a great start he got off to. Garza Norris tomorrow. That should be a dandy. Wood Happ on Tuesday. That's Travis Wood. And Samardzija off to a very good start. He and Wandy hook up on Wednesday.
6:30 airtime for Astros Live all 3 nights. That'll do it for the homestand. Next homestand starts June 1st with Cincinnati coming in. Just looking at LaHair's numbers, JD, they're outstanding. An OPS of 1,037.
Yeah, that's elite territory right there.
It really is. Swing and a miss, and Lewis strikes out to end the top of the 7th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. The Rangers lead it 6-0, and we'll keep it right here for the singing of God Bless America.
And Budweiser are pleased and proud to welcome to this afternoon's game service members who have recently returned home from overseas deployment. Welcome home, gentlemen. And now, to salute them and all the brave servicemen and women who protect our freedom around the world every day, please join World War II veteran, the young man will soon be 94 years old, Joe Prince, for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
With a 5-run first and then a homer by David Murphy, the Houston native, in the 5th inning, adding to that lead. Colby Lewis has been the beneficiary of the early run support, and he has really made it hold up by allowing only 3 hits in the first 6.
Woman doing her best Elaine Bennis impersonation down there.
Yes, she was. 94 pitches for Colby Lewis through the first 6 innings. Travis Buck leads it off in the home 7th. He hit one of those pitches for a single to left in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Fouling that one for strike 1. Aroldis Chapman is the new closer for Dusty Baker and the Cincinnati Reds. He's in the game in the bottom of the 9th inning, with the Reds leading the Yankees 5-2 at Yankee Stadium. Ryan Ludwig hit his 4th homer. Ryan Hannigan his 1st.
Reds looking to take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Cueto Sabathia, the starters in that game. It was scoreless through 5. No surprise with those 2 on the hill.
Well, that's for sure. Grounded to second. Kinsler over to Young. 1 out. Chris Johnson comes up and will flash back to our Brown hand center. Great hands of the game when CJ made this diving play on Kinsler in the 5th.
So a couple of men on base, an inning-ending play. Very nice.
Now he comes up after hitting 2 fly balls, 1 to right, 1 to center in his first 2 at bats. It's fouled away for strike 1. Raul Ibanez hit his 9th home run for the Yankees. Reds trying to go 21-19 in their first 40 games. Cardinals have flipped back to 22-18. There's a shot to right center field. Hamilton moving. Hamilton stretching out. Well hit ball. Hamilton got going quickly for out number 2.
You see it here. You see Hamilton at the top of your screen react off the bat. Good jump, good read, good play.
Two outs, and it's Justin Maxwell batting. Maxwell 0 for 2.
Down on the farm, Jimmy Paredes continues to swing a hot bat. He was 3 out of 5 yesterday, hitting .316 now. Brett Wallace 3 for 5 as well with a home run. Yeah, Paredes come way up, hasn't he?
Way up. He's put on a nice burst. Check what Wallace is hitting now. He was in the 220s a few days ago.
It's 254.
Okay, well, he's come up too. 2 balls, 1 strike to J-Max. 35,873 people here today. It's been a very well attended series. 102 pitches for Lewis today. 34,000 plus Friday night, 42,000 plus last night. Last night was the second sellout of the year at home for the Astros. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This interleague series has really been popular down through the years.
It's going to be fun when the Astros join the Rangers in the AL West next year. I mean, there's pros and cons to this move, but for sure one of the positives is going to be the rivalry between these 2 clubs going forward. The Astros in a little bit different position, obviously, than the Rangers, who've been to back-to-back World Series and have a star-studded lineup. The Astros in rebuilding mode, but down the road, when they're both competitive, battling for a division title, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Strike 3 rather than ball 4, as Maxwell thought. And that's strikeout number 6 for Lewis. It ends the 7th inning and keeps the Rangers in front 6-0. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Showing you Robbie Ross, the rookie in the Rangers bullpen, their only lefty, with the backpack duties. And there's usually something pink for the rookie to carry out to the bullpen for some reason.
Yeah, you got that backpack full of chewing gum and seeds.
Tell you what,
I'm not
though,
sure what the vest and the horse were all about there.
I think that's their mascot, Ranger, maybe. Ian Kinsler leads it off against Rainer Cruz in the 8th inning. He's 1 for 4. But Robbie Ross should have a valet the way he pitched Friday night. He got his 5th win of the year. He's 5-0. The low ERA. Worked 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief, as Neftali Feliz failed to go the first 5 innings to qualify for the win. So Robbie Ross is carrying his share of the load. He shouldn't have to tote that backpack around, JD.
He's probably hoping somebody gets called up. Somebody with less time in the big league so that he can pass that duty on.
That's right. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Cruz works his 2nd inning, the pitcher due up 2nd in the bottom of the 8th for Houston. Kinsler started this game with a single, and that led to a 5-run frame.
It's always a big issue on a club, right? How much time you got? This guy's acting like he's been here 10 years. It seems that the guys who are most concerned with how much time other guys have are guys that don't have a lot of time. They've been there a year or 2, and also, well, that guy didn't have any time.
Yeah.
The guys that have been there for a long time, no, they don't care so much.
I could just see those conversations right now, JD.
In the minor leagues, it's over seats on the bus. Who gets the best seat on the bus?
Okay.
So it's kind of ironic because you could be bad. You could be like in your 4th year in A-ball, going nowhere. But you've got time in A-ball, so you get the best seat on the bus. Better than the hotshot prospect who just signed for $4 million.
That's strikeout number 2 for Rainer Cruz. Andrus is 2 for 4. Now, being in A-ball for 4 years, that's not anything desirable.
You don't want any of those all-time records in the minor leagues. You don't want to be the all-time winningest pitcher in Oneonta, New York, or Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah. That's hit sharply, but second baseman Altuve is right there. 2 outs. Brash Davis.
Bernardo Brito.
Oh, yeah.
Bernardo Brito had 250-some minor league home runs.
Well, the Astros have Mike Hessman at AAA Oklahoma City. He's been in the minors for a long, long time. Josh Hamilton has a single, a sac fly, a walk, and a line out to left field. Skeeter Barnes played a long time in the minor leagues.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys that are kind of AAA legends that people, the average baseball fan, never hears of. But you talk to players who played in that era, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember." For me, there was a guy by the name of Jerry Keller.
Okay.
Just mashed in the International League for a number of years, had all kinds of home runs. King Kong Keller. He had a little big league time, but Brito, another guy who fits that description.
Mike Hessman has 10 homers to lead the Oklahoma City club.
Another guy who may fit that bill at the end of his playing days, and I'm not sure if he's still playing, but Willie Mopena.
Yeah. Greg?
Remember this name, Nick Cullop.
Oh, yeah.
25 years in the minor leagues, and then he managed for another 15.
Wow. Who's the guy? Joe Bowman many years ago, right? Hit all the home runs.
Oh, yeah, at
minors.
Roswell. Ran a service station on the side.
Didn't know that.
He hit 72 home runs, didn't he, in the minor leagues in 1 year?
I think he did.
He wasn't even juicing, as far as we know.
Well, maybe orange juice. 2 balls and a strike. Johnny Cueto and the Reds won it 5-2 over the Yankees, and the save went to Aroldis Chapman, his first. His ERA 0 for the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reds have been talking about having Chapman start for them later on this year, but Sean Marshall didn't pitch well the other day, and Dusty Baker decided to move Marshall back to a setup role and Chapman into the closer spot. And it worked well today. Fouled away by Josh.
He was making some pretty tough pitches here to Hamilton. The previous one was a really good changeup he was out in front of, and then causes him to be a little bit behind the 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Rangers now have homered in 14 consecutive games, with Murphy's home run earlier today. Still 2-2. Hamilton last week was the American League Player of the Week with a .467 average, 9 homers, 18 runs batted in 7 games.
How many times has he won that award this year?
Oh, boy.
I'm guessing he's had to won it 3 or 4 times already.
Probably. He has more homers than walks by 1. And shoots that one out to shallow left field, dunks it in for a single. Well, last time up he lined out to Buck. This time looped it in front of him for a 2-out hit. 2 more hits for Hamilton today.
He stayed away throughout that at bat, and it's a pretty good pitch. It makes solid contact off the end of the bat and just pokes it into shallow left.
That's 12 hits for the Rangers, 3 for the Astros. Beltre is 0 for 4. 10-game hitting streak on the line for him. And Chris Johnson throws him out. No runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the last of the 8th inning. Rangers 6, Astros nothing. Set for the bottom of the 8th inning. Looking back at the 5-run Texas first. Hamilton had a sac fly, 1-0. Now 2-run single by Cruz. 3-0 Rangers off Jordan Lyles. And the pitcher, Colby Lewis, gets a 2-run single to right field. 5-0 Texas. And then David Murphy of Houston blasts a home run to left center field. Number 5 of the year for Murphy, making it 6-0 Rangers.
5 of the 6 RBIs for the Rangers this afternoon coming from the 6th spot on down in their lineup. That speaks to the depth of this lineup, and Jordan Lyles ambushed there in the first, just to not have very good command of his pitches in that first inning. You've got to have your A game against this club from first pitch on.
Ball 1 to Jason Castro. That was pitch number 106 for Colby Lewis. Castro's fly to left both times. Marwin Gonzalez is on deck. Off-speed pitch comes in for a strike. That makes it 1-1 for Lewis. The Astros have lost the last 6 series against the Rangers since winning one in 08. Bouncer back to Lewis. That's 7 straight retired by Colby. He's thrown 114 pitches in each of his last 2 starts.
Finishes square to home plate. Pretty good fielding position to handle that comebacker.
Marwin Gonzalez pinch hitting here for Reiner Cruz. A switch hitter. Carries a batting average of .226. He has 1 homer, 2 runs batted in. He's 3 for 10 pinch hitting, including a home run. That home run came hitting left-handed in Philadelphia. And he takes ball 1. His first major league homer, but he never got the baseball back from the Phillies fan who caught it. Reiner Cruz in 2 innings allowed 3 hits, no runs. He had no walks, struck out 2. Good outing for Reiner. It's 2-0. Out into shallow center field. Here comes Hamilton moving in for out number 2.
Well, we've seen a lot of that today. Easy pop-ups.
Let's see, there have been 7 ground ball outs now. But yeah, most of them in the air, and then 6 strikeouts. Now it's Altuve batting. The total attendance for this 3-game series is 113,261. That's the highest for the Astros for a 3-game series with Texas at Minute Maid Park since 2007. Last year it was a Tuesday through Thursday series, so 113,000 plus for this weekend, but last year was 79,000 plus.
Weekend, and a lot of the Ranger fans, with obviously not having to work on the weekend, were able to make the trip down from Dallas.
And it'll be a weekend series in Arlington when the Astros are there as well.
I don't think as many Astro fans will make that trip.
Fly ball to right field. Nelson Cruz with the catch. And after 8, it's 6-0 Rangers.
If you're hitting the road, you can take the Astros with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today, and that'll allow you to see every Astros out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Astros.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Thanks, Greg. These fans watching as the 9th inning begins to unfold with Wesley Wright taking the mound. He's pitcher number 4 for the Astros. A little chicken dance action there in the stands. And Wesley's been a very busy left-hander this week. He worked Wednesday, Thursday, last night, and again today, with that ERA coming down to 2.70. JD.
See, Wesley has been quite good at neutralizing left-handed batters. Just 2 out of 24 against him. It's right, left, right due up for the Rangers in this inning. Young, Murphy, and Cruz.
16 straight scoreless outings for Wesley Wright, who normally isn't in there very long. Young is the batter. Michael takes ball 1. He had the double in the first inning and scored a run. He's 1 for 4. Young looks at that one. It's a 1-1 count. Max Scherzer set a career high for strikeouts in a game with 15 for Detroit, beating Pittsburgh 4-3. He goes to 3-3 with that win.
We got a full dose. The Pirates did against the Tigers, having to deal with Verlander Friday night, who flirted with a no-hitter, and then Scherzer.
He sure did.
Verlander struck out 12, was throwing 99 miles an hour in the 9th inning.
Scherzer with 15 Ks and 1 walk in 7 innings of work. Fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Young. Murphy on deck. Jordan Lyles gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. Fernando Rodriguez had a 1-2-3 6th. 2 scoreless from Reiner Cruz. Wesley Wright in to take his part on the slab for a bullpen that has the 3rd lowest ERA in the National League, 2.85. Bouncer foul. Johnson goes on through with the throw. Fans like that. Still 2-2.
Might as well make the play just in case. Put on a little show.
Why not? It's a free throw. The Astros have Lowry, Bogasevic, and Lee due up in the bottom of the 9th. It's 3-2. 10 men left on for the Rangers, 4 for the Astros. Texas has out-hit Houston 12-3 with no errors in the game today. That's cranked on a line to left field. A hit in front of Buck. Michael Young cracked that one for hit number 2 of the game. He's all over that pitch.
Despite Young not having his typical year, he has been very good against left-handed pitching. When all is said and done, he'll probably end up hitting 300 and have close to 200 hits.
David Murphy with the intentional walk in the first. Homer in the 5th inning, has been on twice. Cruz is on deck. Strike to Murphy. Wesley Wright has had several appearances under 5 pitches. It's quite different though when maybe he comes in with a 1-run lead, faces one guy, compared to a 6-0 game in the 9th. No balls, 2 strikes. So he would face more right-handed batters usually in an appearance like this.
Yeah, and I think there's value in that because there will be times where he has to get a tough right-handed hitter out in a meaningful situation. So an opportunity for him to see some right-handed batters, maybe work on his changeup or whatever it is he's going to use to try to get a right-handed hitter out. And it's a chance for Brad Mills and Doug Brocail to evaluate him in those situations too. So, we know this guy can get lefties out, but let's see how he does against some tough right-handed bats.
Struck out Murphy. And now it's Cruz with strike 1. 2 hits for Cruz today. It's Arizona 2, Kansas City nothing. They're in the top of the 9th at Kansas City. Wade Miley started. He went the first 7 for the D-backs. One ball, 1 strike. The D-backs currently 5 games under 500, 18-23. A lackluster start for Kirk Gibson's club, but they've had injuries. Chris Young and others. That's out toward left center field. That might shoot the gap for extra bases. Maxwell slides, and Maxwell has it. Getting it back in. And they throw it. They got the force play. He didn't make the catch, apparently. The umpire was giving a safe sign, and they tag out Cruz, so they get a double play unless something's reversed here.
Young's, if Cruz is out, then Young's. Wait a minute. No, Cruz.
We'll see, because we got a safe sign from Tim McClellan indicating that he trapped the ball. So then they get the force at second. They tag Cruz, and it's a double play.
Or Cruz is out for passing Young, and then becomes a dead ball situation, and Young is safe for first base. Young's smart just to stay on first base until this all gets sorted out.
Don't leave your
I
bag.
thought he caught the ball in center field.
It looked like it.
I didn't pay attention to the base runners. I thought he caught the ball out there in the outfield. Sure. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay, dropped it. And recovered and got the force at second because Young thought the ball was going to be caught. So there is an 8-4 play for that force. Now Altuve realizes he can get a double play on this because Cruz isn't at first base.
No, but he's already calling Cruz out. So at that point, Young is no longer vulnerable at the force play at second base. I think he's already ruled Cruz out for passing Young.
Okay.
And that means there's no force at second.
Yeah, if Cruz was deceived by the umpire's call, then it's going to be different here.
Let's see if he doesn't pass anybody.
No.
Oh, yeah, he did right there.
They passed him coming back, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't blame Cruz if the umpires indicated the wrong call, but did they? Did somebody else on the crew hold up a fist indicating an out play? Because Tim McClellan was showing a safe sign. He was a third base umpire out to make that call.
That's a tough one for the umpires.
Yes, it is. So Michael Young was deceived by one of the umpires calling out. and that puts a different spin on their decision.
Here's the player. Here's Young coming back. So Young got it right. Or no, he didn't. He thought it was caught, but Cruz passes him. So you're going to see the first base umpire, Ted Barrett, calling Cruz out for passing Young.
Well, they've not made that call. Young's still at first, and Cruz is out apparently. So 2 outs.
Now Young's good because Cruz passed him. So Cruz is out for passing Young. Young is not vulnerable to the forced play at second.
Interesting. Now it's Torey Alba. There's ball 1. Well, it's ruled a fly out to center field. All right, so they've said that the catch was made, which it wasn't.
Well, how can that be a catch?
It wasn't a catch at all. He did not catch the ball.
And that certainly wasn't what Ted Barrett was ruling down there at first base.
No. And Runge's a home plate umpire, but he was not involved in either of those calls. Confusing situation. Altuve fields the one hopper, gets it over to Lee.
I think it's a 6-0. Let's move on call. Let's just go. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Bottom of the ninth, 6-0 Texas.
Hyundai. New Hyundai owners are talking about their car in the booth. A lot of people in the booth are talking about the last play, next to last play in the 9th inning. Also, how it's going to be scored. It was a confusing play, and here's how it happened. The hitter is Cruz. He's got a runner at first base, and he hits a fly ball to center. And on first look, this looks like it was caught. He thought it was caught, but Maxwell thought he had it, and then he dropped it. All right, that's when the confusion started. A lot of people thought it was caught. Don't know what the umpire's rules were. The throw goes into second base, and this looks like a force out. Except for, see the runner? That's Cruz. He thought he was out, so he actually passed the preceding runner, Young. Question is, what's the scoring?
Well, you know, and up here they announced fly out to center field, so they just ruled it a straight fly out to center field. You know, that shot of Barrett calling Cruz out, I thought he was ruling him out for passing Young, but he may have just said, no, you're out on a catch, which obviously isn't accurate.
Well, that's what the ruling was from what was announced in the press box. It was a fly out to center field. Jed Lowry's 0 for 3. There's strike 1 to him. Colby Lewis going for the complete game. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And if this were a 2-1 game, there would have been a much lengthier discussion of that play.
You know that. 1 career shutout for Lewis. Shut out the White Sox on the road. 1-2. Rangers have put together 3 shutout wins this season. They have 1 complete game, and that was by Neftali Feliz. The Astros have been shut out 3 times. Foul away, 1-2. That's just hard to justify that out call when it was not a catch in center field, but whatever. It's a 6-0 game.
Yeah, and the one thing we didn't see in all that, we couldn't see the umpires. So we're not sure if anybody was signaling catch out there or not.
That's right. Yeah, if we'll say the second base umpire had been calling a catch, and the base runners saw that, well, then they're deceiving the base runners by the umpire call. That puts a whole different spin on what you do then with the base runners.
Kind of like our bat, so Michael Young's not in jeopardy. He can go back to first base as if the ball were caught.
Right. Well, Michael wound up at first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We thought he was forced at second. Grounded foul. Still 2-2. Bogusevic and Lee to follow. Thirteen hits for the Rangers, 3 for the Astros. Texas has stranded 11 with Houston leaving 4.
Our plus minus this weekend is not good, Brownie.
No, not at all. Good to get that 1-run win. They've been going against the Astros. The Astros already played 15 1-run games. They won one last night to make it a 7-8 record. That's why baseball is so unlike the other sports. The complexity of the rules. High to right field. This might get the Astros on the board as Lowry hits one to right. There's the leap by Cruz, and Lowry has hit it out. Number 6 for the club leader. No shutout today.
Jed Lowry's had good swings all afternoon. A frustrating 0 for 3 for him prior to that swing of the bat. First 2 times up, he hit the ball hard, lining out to right, and then a rocket to left field. So he gets a little redemption with a solo home run, and Ron Washington was going to leave Colby Lewis in to go for the shutout, but now that has gone by the boards, he's going to make a move to the pen.
122 pitches for Colby Lewis, and that'll be it. Mike Barnett happy with that swing by Jed Lowry, getting the Astros on the board. Lowry with 6 homers, 17 runs batted in now. That takes his hitting streak to 5 games. It prompts a pitching change. We'll be right back with the score 6-1 Texas.
In Charlotte, as defending champion Kevin Harvick and points leader Greg Biffle lead Stock Car Racing's best drivers in a chase for the checkered flag. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing with the Coca-Cola 600 live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's next Sunday in prime time, 4:30 p.m. Central on the Fox Television Network. Guys,
wonder if Drogba will be there, Greg.
Oh, they'll all be there. That's that big Labor Day weekend stuff.
Okay. Robbie Ross is the rookie left-hander, the only left-hander in the bullpen. He's won 5 of his first 15 major league appearances, JD.
That's a very impressive start. There's no way you can sustain that, Brownie.
He's going to be a 40-game winner. Now Matt Downs is pinch hitting for Brian Bogusevic. Downs took a look at ball 1 from Robbie Ross, who was so impressive Friday night. It's 2 balls, no strikes. He came in with Neftali Feliz, was struggling with his command and had thrown 101 pitches through 4 2/3. Did not go the 5 innings required of a starter to get the win. Ross got that win with 2 1/3 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. Throws a strike to Downs, 2-1. And Ross has come in with 13 inherited runners and allowed only 1 to score. Strike there makes it 2-2 to Matt Downs.
Fastball, slider, changeup. It's pretty good sink on his fastball.
Downs hit a big homer off Neftali Feliz, costing him a blown save and a loss in Texas last year. Matt's had 52 at bats with a 173 average. 3 of his 9 hits have been long balls. He's 0 for 11 pinch hitting. Goes over on that one, stays alive at 2-2. Carlos Lee on deck. Downs got the start at third base last night. He was 0 for 4 against the lefty Derek Holland. They're happy they stayed. Downs grounds another one toward the Rangers dugout. Well, Matt's home run per at bat average, 1 for 17, leads the club. One's in the air, and Kinsler looks out to Hamilton. 1 out. It'll be Carlos Lee. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The Rangers winning here by 5 have outscored their opponents with that margin included by 84 runs this year. That's on a pace to outscore their opponents by about 320 runs this season. That is just a phenomenal clip. There's strike 1 to Carlos Lee. It's just hard to stay close to them. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let alone beat them. Although they've slowed down considerably in the month of May with an 8-10 record. That's ripped to left center field by Lee. Murphy back, and that will go to the wall and kick back. Picked up by Hamilton. Lee in with a double. Double number 6 of the year on a well-hit line drive. And he's starting to work the ball more to the left of second base now this last week or so.
Yeah, went out and got that one and yanked it into the alley with authority. Just keep the line moving. Cubs will come to town having lost 6 in a row, barring a big comeback. They trail the White Sox 5-0. Cubs batting in the bottom of the 8th.
Travis Buck is 1 for 3. There's strike 1 to Buck. J.D. Martinez is the right-handed batter who's still available on the bench, other than the other catcher, Chris Snyder. Bounce slowly to the left side. Beltre cuts over and makes the play. 2 outs. He's an excellent third baseman. Chris Johnson's 0 for 3. Line down to the center fielder Hamilton back in the 7th inning. Hit the ball really sharply. Maxwell's on deck. Minnesota is getting blasted at Milwaukee 16-1 after 7. Josh Johnson in Miami down Cleveland 5-3 in Cleveland, beating Derek Lowe. Loop toward right field. Cruz coming in, and the Rangers take 2 of 3 in the first of 2 series. The battle for the silver boot. Colby Lewis, the winner, going to 4-3, beating Jordan Lyles, who's 0-1. And the Astros get set for the Chicago Cubs. The Rangers head for Seattle. Final score today, Texas 6,